ሰላም እንዴት ናችሁ? Welcome to Tia English. In this video, I will be speaking mostly in English because I want you to be able to practice listening to English. I will speak slowly and I hope that this helps you. So the focus for today's video is how we can expand our vocabulary so that we can level up our English. A lot of the time, one of the traps that even native English speakers can fall into is to overuse the same word again and again and again. Sometimes it's just easier, we're not thinking about it, but if you are wanting to have a more advanced level of English, or if you are preparing for the IELTS test or any other form of English speaking test, being able to expand your vocabulary is really important. What I'll be doing is giving you some of the commonly overused words and alternatives or synonyms. Synonyms are words that have a very similar meaning to each other. It means that we don't use the same word over and over again. Synonyms are similar, not exactly the same. This means that depending on the context or what you are speaking about, the synonym you want to use might not work. So we really have to understand the meanings of the words that we are using. We also have to make sure that we understand the context in which it's used. The first word we're looking at today is very. I am so guilty of using very all the time. The reason is because it's simple to use. For example, I could say the book is very interesting. However, what are some of the alternative words that we can use? The first word is extremely. Bear in mind that these words have varying degrees of intensity and meaning in terms of their context. When we say extremely, it means very, very much. So we have to consider if what we are saying is indeed extremely something. So instead of saying the book is very interesting, if I find it very interesting, I could say the book is extremely interesting. The other word that we can use instead of very is remarkably. Let's take a look at how we can use this word. So instead of saying something like the sunset at the beach is very beautiful every evening, we could say the sunset at the beach is remarkably beautiful every evening. Another synonym we can use is terribly. Yes, I know what you're thinking. Terribly sounds a lot like terrible, which means like very bad. But actually, terribly has two different kinds of ways that we could use it. Terribly could mean something that does not have a very good or satisfactory feeling. For example, she performed terribly in that exam, meaning she didn't perform very well. And it could have that kind of connotation. However, terribly could also be used to emphasize something. For example, instead of saying, I'm very afraid of spiders, you could instead say, I'm terribly afraid of spiders. What terribly does is it emphasizes what you're saying. So this is why it's so important to understand the context. The next word that is overused is amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Although there is absolutely nothing wrong with using the word amazing, it's really good to know some alternatives or synonyms that you can use in order to help you with advancing your English. So let's have a look at a sentence so that we can find some alternatives. The view from the top of the mountain is amazing. So, what could we change the word amazing to? One word that we can use is astonishing. So, the view from the top of the mountain is astonishing. I think that's a great word to use to describe something that's beautiful and amazing to look at. So instead of using the word amazing, you could change it to astonishing. Another word that you could use instead of amazing is phenomenal. Phenomenal. So the view from the top of the mountain is phenomenal. This is actually a word I feel like I should use more as well because it's such a great word to diversify your sentences or your paragraphs if you're writing or when you're speaking. Another word if you're speaking about something that is amazing and beautiful is breathtaking. Wow, what a nice word, right? Breathtaking. It means that it's so wonderful and amazing when you look at it that it almost takes your breath away. That's a really great word. So the view from the top of the mountain is breathtaking. It's a really great word and an alternative word to amazing. Final word for an alternative is extraordinary. Extraordinary. So the view from the top of the mountain is extraordinary. It means that it is so wonderful and amazing to look at. So that is also another word that I would put in my word bank. Another extremely common word that is used all the time is the word good. And you know what? I'm also very guilty of this, not in English, but in Swedish. The reason is because it's just such an easy word to use, the word good in Swedish, which is bra, and I use it all the time. So I can definitely understand why it's so easy to use this word over and over and over again. So let's learn some alternatives to the word good. Let's look at an example sentence. She did a good job. She did a good job. So let's have a look at some alternatives to be able to swap out and see if we could elevate this sentence. The first one is superb. Superb. She did a superb job. The next synonym that we could use for good is outstanding. The word outstanding does mean more than good. It's on a higher level and it's a really great word to use if you really mean that something is genuinely outstanding. So for example, she did an outstanding job. If you're watching this far, please make sure to like and subscribe to Tia English. I love teaching on here and I love sharing all of these words and for all of us to learn together. Additionally, I would love to see some of your sentences as well. So please do write down in the comments some sentences and alternative sentences with your synonyms. Another synonym for good is also fantastic. For example, she did a fantastic job. So let's look at the opposite of the word good, and that is bad. So what words could we use to say that something is bad but not say all the time? So if something is bad, we could also use the word awful. Awful. So instead of saying that's a really bad drawing, we can say that's an awful drawing. And that is a different word to essentially say the same thing, that something is not very good. Another word that we can use instead of bad is horrible. Horrible. So instead of that drawing is bad, we could say that drawing is horrible. But if you say that to somebody, they're going to feel very down about it. So make sure to be careful who you're saying that to, but you could say that drawing is horrible. And if you're wanting to say that something is in the middle ground, you can kind of say that it's mediocre, which basically means that it's not that special. So let's leave it here. I hope you learned a lot of new synonyms, a lot of new words that you can use to elevate your English. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed me doing a video speaking entirely in English, please do write it in the comments and let me know that you really enjoyed it, and I'm happy to make more videos for you where I speak entirely in English. So if you are on your journey to learn English and you're not really sure how long it's going to take and you just want more information about it, I recommend that you watch this video right here. It's a fully Amharic video, so that might make it easier for some of you who are from Ethiopia, are natively Amharic speakers, and it will show you everything you need to know about the language learning process, some of the advice that you could find useful, some of the things that you need to be aware of as well. So you can go over here, click on here and watch that video, and I will see you in the next video.